Hey guys, welcome back to Armchair Conversations with Rob. Today I want to have a little more fun. Decided not to sit down, decided to stand up and talk to you and ask you some questions about something that we don't always think about that might be fun to do every now and then with that playfulness of a child. Let's talk about our ideal self. Do you ever think about it? Do you ever think about what you would like to be? Like your ideal self, like the person that you really wish you could be, if you could literally unzip yourself and step out of yourself and step into the ideal you like a new suit of clothes, what would that be like? I'm going to ask you to think about it today, just for fun. Not saying you have to be it, not saying you have to go in that direction or you have to decide right now whether you are or whether you aren't. Let's just have fun today, okay? Start thinking about it. What would your ideal self be like? Would you be bigger, smaller, taller, shorter, faster, slower, stronger, weaker, smarter, nicer? What would your ideal self be like? A lot of times we go through life and we do things because we think that we're supposed to do them, or we become certain things because we think we're supposed to become it. We do what is expected of us, not necessarily our own expectations, but the expectations of others. And sometimes it's nice to just take a break from all that, because I'm not saying that you should never do anything that you're expected to do. I mean, society works because we do follow some of the rules and regulations of society. But as far as the part of you that would want to be something different, and it really isn't going to hurt anybody, like, now if you want to be an axe murderer, obviously, or a robber, or some kind of a serial killer, or some guy that shoots up the schools like these idiots that I've been seeing lately on the news, um, that would obviously be not so good idea, or not so good ideal of yourself. But the you that you think would be the coolest, have you ever thought about what that would be like, what you might look like, what it might feel like? Um, Because sometimes I have mentioned visualization, and you visualize what you would like. And I mean, it could be you, it could be a situation, a circumstance, it could be a thing that you want to manifest. But sometimes you just got to play and have some childlike innocence and goof off and take a minute to think about what the ideal you would be like. Would you be, I don't know, say you always wanted to be a fireman, but you chose something that was safer and secure, that doesn't really bring you the same excitement and joy that you think being a fireman would be. Or, you know, when we were kids, we used to think about things like, I want to be a cowboy, I want to be an Indian, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a Superman, a army guy, whatever. Did you ever just, in your adult age, step back for a moment and actually go back and think about that? What it might be like? Because if, say, for example, money was no object and security was no object, and you could remove all of the daily adult mature stressors that we now labor under different pretenses than what we ideally would want to be, if you could take all that stuff away and just be whatever it was you wanted to be, your ideal self, not only inside but outside, what would you be? I really want you to take a minute today to think about that. And what triggered this was a quote that I butchered, paraphrased, and mixed all together, that I liked, that I wrote down in a paper that I gave to some children, because we were talking about 11 things they don't teach you in school. Um, and one of the things that I wrote was to be the kind of man that when your feet hit the floor each morning, any and all challengers and adversaries think and say, "Oh no, he's up." That one's kind of an ideal for me, because I want to be the person that makes things happen, that changes things. I'm not going to necessarily be the person who does a lot of business deals and all that kind of thing and makes things happen that way. but I'm a person who wants to make things happen by saying things that are good, that inspire people, and being kind to people and leading by example and having other people want to be like that and contribute to the world. Of course, I have some physical goals too, because you can take a look at me and realize that at some point I used to lift weights. So I had some physical goals that I have, and I imagined myself to get at some point, and health goals and psychological goals and philosophical goals and spiritual goals. And we all have those things. And what I'm encouraging all you guys to do is to take a minute and just think about what it was you wanted to be, you know, and what you may still wish to be. And I'm going to challenge you on a point that sometimes doesn't come up when we are fantasizing because we think of it as just fantasy. But do you know that more than likely you're probably really not that far off from reality of making it happen with a little bit of elbow grease and some chutzpah, some guts, some stick to itiveness, a little bravado, as they say. You know, because if you wanted to be smarter, why can't you move toward that by learning something extra, working on something, taking classes, picking up a book? Um, I loved college when I was there. I enjoyed it, but I also enjoyed learning way before I got to college. So I'm the guy that will still pick up a book or watch a documentary over necessarily watching, say, a court show, like a divorce court or Judge Judy, for example, which I like because she's got chutzpah. But anyway, you might be surprised to find that you're not that far off from the things that you could be doing to be your ideal self. And it might just take, again, a little bit of elbow grease, a little extra creativity, and figuring out how you can start that ball rolling again. Because the one thing I want people to get out of this little clip is that you can get that ball rolling again towards your ideal self. I don't care if you failed yesterday or all day today or tomorrow, even. Okay, failure is an event and it's not a person. And you can still keep working towards your ideal self. And I encourage you to do that today and approach it with a sense of wonder and play because you know you get more things done when there's no resistance, when the friction and the restriction is lifted. You know, it's like when you put a little bit of lubrication on something, it slides much smoother. You know, oil in the bearings and joints of machinery, as it were. So figure out a way to play towards your goal of your self ideal. What is it that you can do that will take you a step closer and be okay with the results of that, even though you're not finished yet? Anyway, just want to play, throw something out there. So I got it off the cuff. Want to say thank you for sharing my armchair. If you like it, again, subscribe, leave me comments, feedback. I always appreciate it. And again, if you happen to be catching me for the first time and you don't like it, that is what search engines are for. You will find something out there that is for you. In the meantime, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing my armchair.